All right. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Tranny here, and hopefully everything's coming in loud and clear. I'm going to dive into some fun compositing that we're going to do today, right? Selecting, manipulating, adding to, removing from images, everything you need to know. Awesome. I see you here now. Michelle, Yanis, is that how I say it? Hardeep. Jamie, awesome. Hello from Turkey. Good to have you here. Argentina's in the house. Everybody's here, all the fun people. So this is going to be a good time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this fine, good old fine, what is it, Wednesday? So, all right, let's dive into this. I have a lot to show you, and it's going to be pretty awesome. So, yes. Hello from Mexico. Awesome. Good to have you here, David. Alrighty. And just doing a couple refreshes on things just to make sure I'm everywhere. All right, cool. Awesome. Bam, got it. All right, so let's dive into this right now. So I'm going to show you some cool things, some things that you might have actually missed at Max. Not sure, but let's kind of dive into this right now. So here I am in Photoshop on the desktop, okay? And I'm gonna do a composite, and what I wanna do is, yes, I can use libraries, okay, and do a search from like Adobe stock using libraries, but I wanna go beyond that because what we have available are, if we take a look, we have, let me find it. I already had the panel open, which is right here. Okay, we have plugins right here available. So we have this new plugins panel, which is going to be pretty powerful. Yours doesn't look like mine, probably doesn't, but these are the plugins that I currently have loaded in. Okay, so here it is, plugins right at the top. Silly me. Plugins panel, that's what I just opened. You can browse plugins, manage them, all that fun stuff, and these are the ones that I have added. So we can go to browse plugins. You could do a search, kind of find out which ones that you prefer. It should open up. And by the way, where do you find these? Let me nest this off to the side because you can go to the Creative Cloud desktop app. So let's just have it load in. There it is. That's where it's going to be. And wait for it. Wait for it, everyone. Hello from Bangladesh. Awesome. Okay. So here we go. We have Marketplace. So that's what it jumps to, your Creative Cloud Marketplace. We have plugins, featured plugins. You can see them right here. I've actually hooked up Dropbox Transfer, Pixel Squid, of course. You can add this watermark, really search for what you want and kind of see what's going to work for you. These are my featured ones. We can go to all plugins. I can click on the apps. So Photoshop is what I want to do. And right in here, actually what I have a couple of them. I have Pixel Squid, and then I did this free stock search. So since I'm doing compositing today, I thought I'd use this free stock search. Will allow you to search for stock. Now you can upgrade to the pro version if you want to, because hey, you know what? They're not, doing this out of the kindness of their heart necessarily, although I'm sure they are as well. What's up, Biola? Good to see you here. And Eva and Claudia. Awesome. And I gotta actually grab a link really fast, my friends. Let's go right in here. Let's do this really fast. All right, there we are. Just making sure the powers that be have that. So this is pretty cool. So what do? I jump in here, I open up a blank document. I load up those plugins, which happen to be right here. And then I can get to work. So I have this free stock search, just kind of upgraded to the pro version, right? But we can access that. Here it is. And I can search for statues, right? Because that's what I want to work with. Statues, I'm going to have vectors. That's what I'm going to use. And I can scroll down and start to use any one of these. Oh, here's the pro version that I was using earlier. Right, so this just allows for higher downloads. So I can come in here. You can see it's a lot like Adobe stock, but here we go. Save to the computer, right? It's going to download it. It's giving me that largest version possible. Don't really know if I need the largest version, but let's go ahead and put that down here, and we'll just call it statue. You get the idea. It's going to open it up as well. Okay, so here it is, that lovely graphic, and then I can start using it wherever I want. Okay, so I think that's pretty cool. Again, those are free photos. You might have to upgrade the plugin or whatever, because again, it might cost them money to develop it. Hello, Chris and John. Quebec's in the house. Good to have you here. Let me know if you have, does getting premium stock vector and using it, is it copying or not? It is not copying because they're royalty free, but that's a very good question because you do want to jump out there and say, hey, you know what, for this one, we can go ahead and see, oh, that came from Unsplash, okay? And we want to make sure that we are complying to, we don't want to be sued, basically, and we can't say, oh, it was Unsplash's fault. No, it is going to fall on your shoulders. So feel free to check the usage rights for those photos, wherever it may be. But Unsplash is actually royalty free. I don't have to worry about that. But there it is. That's what I can work with. I'm going to save this. We'll just save this as a cloud document to my cloud files right up here. We'll call it statue. Right? Why not? Saving it there. And from there, yes, I can use my desktop, but I also want to switch over to the iPad as well. So give me 1 second to do that. And again, it's being sort of uploaded, it's synced to the cloud, so it might take a second to do that anyways. So as I switch screens, you'll see what I mean. Come on, buddy. I know you can do it. All right. There we are, just waiting for this to sync over. If not, I'll actually show you some desktop features. There it is. Okay, perfect. There we go. I just had to disconnect it and reconnect. Here I am, Photoshop on the iPad. And by the way, what Photoshop version of this? This is the latest version. So you want to go ahead and make sure you have your apps updated, because what I'm talking about is Photoshop. If I switch back over, Photoshop version 22 is what this is, right? So make sure it's updated in your Creative Cloud desktop apps. All right, let's switch back. Here we are. Here's my file. You can see my statue. Clicking right there, it actually appears. Now it's going to download it. Remember, I actually upgraded. I actually downloaded the largest file and everything, so that's going to take a second. I might be lagging. Who knows? I think everybody's on the internet today, but here's my file. Okay, so now I can start to work on it. Okay, what I would do in here is I would do a long press on the selection tools, and we will go to select subject, right? Just selecting the subject. Sure enough, it selects the subject. It gets some additional parts right down here. Well, guess what? We can go in and just use our selection tool. And for this tool, let's go ahead and do this. Let's actually just mask this out first. Let's do this right now. Let's mask it. Boom, there it is. Right now I can make sure that mask is selected. I can go in with the brush as I'm deciding to do, right? And I can go in and just kind of paint that out, just painting on that mask to remove that bottom part and do something kind of like that. So that's all I want to do. Let's throw in a new layer. Let's have some fun with this. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Let's throw a gradient back there. Hey, why not? Okay, there it is. Oh, Biola, I'm so happy that you're getting an iPad, by the way. I think that's really cool. What I would do with this, I could do a number of things. Obviously, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer. So now I have two. I'll keep that back up, right? I don't really need the background, to be honest with you. So what I can do is I can always take any sort of mask and we can go ahead and flatten. So what I've done is I've flattened it. And you can see off to the side, hopefully that I can maybe make a little bit larger. If you don't mind, I'm gonna zoom in on my screen. You don't need to see all that chrome, if you will, the iPad graphic. There we are, let's zoom in on this. Zip. Oh, it's really low quality. We will fix that as well. But from here, I wanna go ahead and start chopping this up, right? take this, start chopping it up. There we are, full res. We can see that is gone, and now I can start working on this. In fact, let's duplicate this one as well. I end up with like a lot of layers. But from here, I can go in and say, hey, you know what? Let's use the selection tool. And this is why I love using the iPad, is I get to work directly on the image. So I can come down here and say, hey, you know what? Let's just kind of just take this and let's just follow the neck and chop it like that, right? Making that selection, right? We can add to the selection. That's what those buttons are in the upper left. So I can add to that selection like that. Okay, so for that, let's just go and invert that selection. Let's add that as a layer mask, and now I have that portion. And that's what I'd start doing, is I'd start building off of this, is what I would do. All right, so happy for you. Let me know what's up. Hello from Italy. Istanbul's in the house. Belgium, cool to see you here. The plugin you used for is that I used, by the way, for finding these files is called, I'm going back in there right now, it is called Free Stock Search. So that's where I got it. Free Stock Search, right there in the center. Zoop. That's what I got, okay? But I would actually combine this with Pixel Squid, right? So to add some additional elements, that's probably what I would do. So let's continue on. Maybe I'll take this, maybe duplicate it. Maybe not duplicate that one. Let's duplicate this top one. Select that. Layer mask. Let's actually just delete that layer mask. Or not. Let's just take this one and duplicate it. Sorry about that, everyone. So I would continue to make this second part and still sort of take that and do the cutouts like I want. Maybe deselect. Let's follow this chin around like that, and let's just make that a selection. Why not? Okay, masking that out. Now we have those two parts, right? So that's all I'm doing right now. I'm going to start to offset this stuff as well. Pardon me as I get to work. I got things to do, people. I can always view like this, by the way. So viewing it like this, if I want to see those layer masks, I can swipe in. I can tell which ones are on or off, right? So I can see that one's, those are all off. I only have this one on, that's the neck. I can always change that visibility as well, but I'm just kind of recognizing what's what. So it's this top one that I want to work on. So let's go ahead and turn off that one. It's really just a matter of, since I have lots of duplicated layers, I'm really just kind of figuring out what's what. Okay. All right, let me go back to this view. I'm gonna find it much easier to work this way, to be honest with you. Let's take this, let's delete that layer. I'm sorry, it's taken me a little while to have some of this squared away. There we go, this is the one I want. Boom, let's go in there with a brush. I can start painting in, go away, making sure that layer is selected. Okay. Oh, that's right. He is turned off. There we go. I'm glad I'm actually working on this. So I had the layer turned off. It was saying, hey, you don't need to go ahead and turn it on. And now I can typically start painting with whatever tool that I want to paint with. Oh, you're having I'm having one of those days, huh? So many layers that are duplicated, and I need to just be able to paint on some of them, right? Yep. The target channel is not hidden, by the way, so I don't actually know why it's actually giving me that message. But what I'd actually do, and just so you know my plan for this, we can just do a press. We're going to add a little bit of color right in here. So I'd use maybe a selection tool, jump in, and complete that neck on the inside like so. Okay, from there we can fill it. Let's actually go in here to the paint bucket, and we can fill it with a color really fast, right? So that's kind of what I'm working on, as you can see, right? Probably need to adjust that. We have adjustment layers right in here as well. So do a long press on the side there, and you can add an adjustment layer. Because what I need to do is actually probably make it a little darker. So brightness and contrast, make it not as bright, right? I could clip it, and now it's a clipping mask, and it's just going to affect, you can see that turning red, it's just going to affect that bottom portion as I make it sort of like less bright is all I'm doing. Okay, so it just makes it a little more green. That's the plan for this. Everybody's having one of those days today. That's right. Let's kind of move on to some additional things because I want to get back onto my desktop, by the way. So we just kind of did the start here. I can just click back. It automatically saves it. Okay, so it's going to sync it, and I'm going to switch back over to my desktop and really continue some of this magic is the plan. Okay, so one of those days, folks. Hopefully you're doing well. Right, I just wanted to, yeah, have some fun and maybe get your mind off of things. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Right, here it is, statue 1, right there. Let's open that up, sort of the start of the compositing, by the way, right, with some of these elements that I had. And it's actually still syncing. This is fascinating. You do have to be aware when you're working from desktop to iPad is I sometimes have the same file open on desktop and on iPad. So you'll sometimes get a conflict. Like right now, it's actually still syncing. For some reason, actually I was able to open it up, but some of the layers were missing. So here's this like say, hey, you know what, Paul, you accidentally opened it up when it was not quite fully baked. But anyways, let's go into this now. One of those days, folks. All right, so what I would do is I call this the neck. Right, throw in a new layer, like so, and continue to work on it, say, right down here. Okay, using the pen tool, using a selection tool, it's really up to you, filling it with a color that I could always change. Ultimately, that's what I would do here. Okay, let's make it a pink, like that. There we go. You get the idea. All right, guys, I'm going to continue working on this. Another new thing that I would show you is statue. We'll go up to filter, and by the way, I can turn that into a smart object. We'll go to filter. We'll go to neural. Let's try skin smoothing just to see what happens. So it actually smooths out the skin even though it's a statue, which is fascinating to me. So let's turn that off, right? Let's go to the beta filters right in here, and let's see if actually Smart Portrait actually works with this. I've never done this before, but I'm going to try making this statue look like it's aging, because it actually is of a Greek athlete, but we're going to see what happens if we change the facial age. So results may vary here. Load up a photo of yours. Yeah, so it actually maybe does it a little bit. Actually, let's do this. Let's adjust the head direction. I just want to see what happens, guys. Oh, it actually does it. Even though this is not a real person, it actually we're actually moving this statue's head. Watch, it's moving its head. Do you see that? Because I'm adjusting the head direction. Let's swing it back the other way. Look, I've just rotated that statue's head as if it's like clay again, which is pretty awesome, right? I mean, is that not amazing or what? Let's make it look a little more happy. You get the idea. I gotta let you guys go. Hello, Ramesh. Yeah, make him smile. I made him smile. It's looking a little creepy, and that's the results you're gonna possibly get. But it's cool that I'm actually manipulating a statue in this sense. By the way, let's try this. Let's turn on colorize. right? Colorize, it says, hey, kind of recognizes it as a person. It's like, hey, this looks like a person, therefore I'm going to go ahead and give them a skin tone and just give it a taupey background, and it's the start of something crazy, which is pretty intense. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. I'll click OK. Since it's a smart object, I could always revert back to something else, but we're just showing you some features in Photoshop and on the iPad and on desktop. Thanks for joining me, James, and everyone. Hopefully everybody has a good day. Let's stay in touch. Hopefully you're happy, you're healthy, or as happy as can be. You know what makes me happy? It's the little things like coffee. So, all right, guys, I will let you go. Have fun with by the way, that's the neural filters and the plugins when you're doing compositing. It'll save you so much time. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We will see you soon. Thanks. It does look like Michael Cera. Good call. We'll see you, everybody.